Let's talk about lights in Minecraft. In today's episode, we are going to go through the what kind of lights exist, why would you want to use lights, where should you use them, and how would you like to use them. Let's begin. Feel free to skip forward if you already know the light levels that Minecraft blocks produce, but I'm going to go over it for everybody who's new, and we're also going to turn the shaders off again. Yes, I know, I love how beautiful they are, but some of our Bedrock viewers were very grateful for being able to see these things without shaders. So let's take a look at our light blocks. As you can see, we have a ton of different light blocks available to us in Minecraft, and oh, it's kind of bright out right now. Let's flip the lights off. There we go. That gives us a little better of an idea of how bright some of our lights are in Minecraft. And for everybody's convenience, I have set up rows of all of the different lights and how bright they are, what their brightness is. Now, if you do have Java and you can F3 the screen, you will be able to see this in the client light level area, and I'll circle it right here. So that is the light level of the block the light source is sitting on, and surprisingly, we only have 2 level 15 light sources. That is the lamp and 4 sea pickles underwater, surprisingly. And then we jump over to a light level 14. Your good old stand by the torch, glowstone, glow shroom, sea lanterns, all of the different frog lights, and our brightest copper bulb, campfires, and beacons all fit in the 14 category. In the 13 category, we have redstone lamps, endstones, and glowberries. In the 12 category, 4 candles, all lit up all at once. In the 11 category, we have your wax exposed copper bulb and 3 sea pickles. In the 10 category, we have all of the soul torches, lanterns, and campfires. In the 9 category, we have crying obsidian, 3 lit candles, and 2 sea pickles. In the 7 category, we have your wax weathered copper bulbs, your redstone torches, and an enchanting table. And yeah, enchanting tables actually do put off a light level. And then under the 6th category, we have glow lichen and a single sea pickle. Underwater, mind you, they do not glow outside of water. In the 5 category, we have our wax oxidized copper bulbs. They are the dimmest variety of lit bulb in the copper varieties. And then you have things like the Sculk Catalyst and the amethyst clusters that also put off a light level of 5. 3s are single candles and the smaller clusters, and then you progressively get smaller in the clusters here with a light level 2 with your magma block and a light level of 1 with a brown mushroom. Now, from all of the sources from about this point on, all of these light sources are dim enough that you can actually put them on snow and around ice and they will not melt them. This comes in really handy when you're lighting up a snowy build or a winter build of some sort. Now that we've gone over what kind of lights exist in Minecraft, now we need to go over why would you want to use lighting. There's 3 different purposes. Now, in a creative world like this, it's mostly so you can see and also so you can decorate with. But in a survival Minecraft situation, you might also want to spawn-proof your area. What I mean by spawn-proofing is every single mob in the game has a certain light level under which conditions they can spawn. So if a skeleton or a zombie or a creeper want to show up on your map, they have to have a certain light level in order to appear on a survival world. Now that can easily be fixed by putting lights all over your bases, but you don't have to spam them like crazy. You don't have to put lamps all over the place to make sure those mobs don't spawn. What you can do, though, is figure out where your light levels will stop with a specific light source, and that is 0. 0 is where the mobs will spawn in any given area, and if we float up here, you can kind of see where the light levels change in their brightness and where the mobs will spawn around them. So in order to alleviate the need to put too many torches or lanterns too close to one another, as long as you have one where the lights will overlap, and if we go into F3 real quick, you'll see that this is a spawn block of 1, and that's a 2 and a 3, and that's 0. So then we would need to have one over here somewhere. And then as long as this block no longer says 0, you're good to go. So now that we have dealt with the why, we might want to look at the where as well. There are 3 different places that you can put lights that will make them the most effective in your builds. So where do you want to put your lighting? Now, if you have a very, very tall build, you might want to avoid putting the lights on the ceiling because they're not going to hit the ground level to be able to spawn proof. Now, if you're in creative like this, you probably won't have to worry about spawn proofing. So you could put lights wherever you needed to in a build in order to keep it safe. In an actual enclosed area, you might want to put lights on the walls or also in the floor. And in flooring, you can actually hide lighting under carpets, under moss blocks, under the new pale moss blocks, any block that is not a full block, like a trapdoor, not a half slab, like a pressure plate. Any of these things can hide your lighting on your floors and make it so that you can still have spawn proofing in your area without having to worry about finding a home somewhere within a room for a light. Now, some lights are very restrictive to where they can go. A frog light, obviously, can be pretty much anywhere where a block can fit. A lantern, on the other hand, is a little bit more tricky because if it doesn't have a block it's sitting on, it will pop off, or you would need to have a block for it to hang from. Glowberries would always need a block to hang from, and they won't go on every single block, but they will go on any solid block, but they won't go on a leaf block. Torches will go on the floor and on the walls, but unfortunately, they won't go on and underneath of a block. So if I had a couple of these and I tried to click it, it's not going to sit, whereas a lantern would hang. So when you build a build, make sure you take into consideration where you might place lights as you go. And as we all know, when you build a survival build and it's really, really big, or you put a roof on it, you want to make sure that you've lit up underneath so you don't accidentally create a mob farm. Now that we have covered the what kind of lights are in Minecraft, the why would you want to use them, where do you want to use them, let's go over to how. But to do this, I think we should turn the lights on. That is much better. I think we need to see all of our blocks during the daytime so you can kind of get an idea of what sort of lights that you have at your disposal to build with. And there are quite a few different kinds of light sources. Obviously, everybody tends to come up with their favorites. So now that we have the lights on, I'm going to show you some of my favorite lighting tricks and tips for you to use inside and outside of your builds. Now let's take a look at some of the different lighting designs that you can do around your world. We'll start over here with some exterior ones. Now, you can do a lot with lighting that can be completely hidden, or you can make it very obvious, putting lamps under trees with maybe a little bit of a chain so that the light source will touch the ground will work. Putting a glow lichen around a tree will also help spawn proof. Hiding torches below a moss carpet looks really good and also hides your block. You can make things look a lot more obvious by putting actual frog lights beneath trapdoors and under half slabs, and with the trapdoors you can still see the light around them. You could grow glowberries in places around your area, and these could be also floating blocks. Glowberries do not care. You can also be very obvious about your lighting options by putting them outside using lampposts in front of your houses, down roadways, around paths, etc. You could use light sources such as this where they're permanent, or you could use redstone lamps with a daylight sensor so they would turn on and off. Now below, I snuck in some glow lichen alongside all of this pale moss and on some of these oak leaves. That will also help things to stay very bright and well lit below. Other lighting options are a little more obvious. Campfires, for example, put out a light level of 14, so they will light up a very large area. And you can put them nestled next to a little pond where we have the sea pickles that do the light level of 15 and a little bit of glow lichen around that. You can also hide frog lights underneath these moss carpets as well, and they will light your area up too. A couple of light sources I neglected to go over in our lighting options are actually some very dangerous ones, so I didn't want to necessarily suggest them over there, but lava is actually a light source as well as a portal to the nether. So those are other options for lighting, but again, kind of dangerous. Use at your own risk. Next off, using your enchanting setup can also produce light. There's going to be a light around here thanks to the enchanting table, a little bit of light with the amethyst crystals, and a little bit of light with the soul torches. And once I turn off the lights to show you all of this in the dark, we'll see what this looks like too. Now we have plenty of ceiling chandelier options that you can use, and these are just some of my favorites, but there's so many combinations that you can do, including using candles, using lanterns with like metal fixtures, using glass to make a very modern fixture to be a little bit older fashioned, or in a lodge type setting with some of these lanterns. And using lampshades by putting signs around just a lantern all the way around gives you a very unique look. Now for a few lighting ideas for the interior of your build. Can you spot all of the lights? I'm going to put up how many light sources are actually in this room because I forgot another one with this one. There's 1. The frog light, the obvious one. 2, the end rod. 3, the ender chest. 4, the amethyst crystal. 5, the candles. 6, hidden lights underneath the carpet. And 7, a hidden light in the wall behind the painting. Right there and there. So, did you happen to spot them all in this room? I actually forgot the ender chest. It is actually a level 10 light source block, so let's head on over here and put it in amongst all of our light levels. And surprisingly, it sits over here among all the soul lanterns. Now that we have gone over the what, the why, the where, and the how, let's take a look at our lighting in the dark. Now some of these are much brighter than others. As you can see, the campfire is quite bright. The lava and the shroom lights are very bright. The frog lights are very bright. Down here underneath the copper bulb, it is not very bright, but it is bright enough to stop spawns. And Over here in the bedroom, it is very bright, almost like it is daytime. Now let's take a look at it with shaders. With complementary shaders, you do see a lot more of an extreme difference between blocks that are lit and blocks that are not. There's a lot of additional effects that you see that you don't normally see in vanilla, like how bright these crystals are, with how bright the redstone torches are, the little dots on the ender chest glow, and just how vivid everything is. And if we come into the bedroom, you can really get a feeling with how bright I have everything lit up with these shaders. Thank you all so much for joining me today on this episode as we covered lights. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a like. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give me a comment and let me know what your favorite lighting options are. And if you walk on the wild side with just the lowest level of lightings like these mushrooms, or whether you go a full 15 and you spam them all over the place. I appreciate you all for watching. Love you very much. Give yourselves a hug from me, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.